Yes, hello, my name is Янне Андресоо and I'm Director General of the National Library of Estonia. And I'm really pleased to participate in this very special project.
Thank you very much. So could you please tell us about the network of the public libraries of Estonia? How many libraries do you have for the audience?
What is modern library? And I would like to emphasize some characterizing points, some aspects that, in my opinion, characterize a modern library. First of all, a modern library is open to everyone. It sounds very simple, but it is not so simple always. And now I would like to tell us something about our library, National Library of Estonia, in this context. What means open? We in the National Library of Estonia, we have cancelled the age limit, for example, and all kind of other restrictions that users previously had to follow when entering to the library. For example, you no longer have to show the library card or any other document when entering to the reading area. Do not have to leave your outdoor clothes or large bags. It was a discussion, big discussion, and so we are really open. And we also recognize that the entrance of a library is very important, and this could be as a barrier, physical barrier, to enter to the library. And we designed entrance of the library also, and I will talk about this later. So people who want to come to the library can just walk through the door and go to the reading rooms. Second, what is characterizing a modern library also sounds very simple. This means that a modern library is user-centered. We have used this user-centered concept very often, but in reality it doesn't work always so well. And what do I mean user-centered library? This means that we are applying the principle of service design in its everyday work. And our library, National Library, has been following the principles of service-based organization for 3 years now. And this is producing the first fruits, that our mentality is now going to be more user-centered. I think it's a huge change in our mentality as well, and we are really now producing, we can see its fruits now. And in this context, I would like to say that we have been engaging users in planning the library's activities as extensively as possible. And considering our upcoming reconstruction project, it will be really huge reconstruction project. We just last week signed contract with designers, 1.8 million euro, and in 18 months the designer will prepare our new reconstructed library, and then we will start to reconstruct it, and this will be real restart. So, and what I like to say, that we have started to engage people in this process, designing the library space, and for example at several open air events where our National Library has presented and introduced our services, we have also let people tell us or design our reading area, and we are using in our marketing also pop-up library as a very well working format, and then we have a very good opportunity to use people and ask how they like to design our library. So people could indicate on the floor plan where they would like to have certain services. And for example, this entrance of a library was one of them. We made like a model and we tested if it's working, if security man is also like a barrier of his entrance, or a security it have to be some other place where have to be librarian, if librarian have to be the first person who is greeting our readers and so on. And it was really exciting. Katre, you remember this process very well. We really made this like registration desk. We moved it from the place where it was, and we tested, and it didn't work. This what we expected that could work, and then we found the best solution in this way, and we considered it was really great example of a process of inclusion readers to design library physical space.
Can I ask you how your staff reacted to these changes? Were they all ready to this? You prepared them, or
no,
you had some problems with that? Because usually we have actually.
It's not so it's not so simple, and we are with Katre. We are colleagues. Katre is also head of really a big department, and maybe she knows better how is it quite challenging to all this change management. This is very, I think it's normal, but we have been really successful, and we, as I said, we really now we are seeing fruits, results, because our usage of our library is increasing, and not just a little bit, but really increasing. This year, for example, it's really a remarkable increase of usage of our library, and we are going on. Only now we are facing this reconstruction, and we have to plan it very well how to keep our readers if we need to move, but it's another story. And third, what I like to say in a context of modern library, that modern library pays special attention to young people and children. They are the next generations, and the life or death of libraries literally depend on how successful we are in convincing the young generation that a library is, and that a library is an exciting place. So, and we started in a national library educational programs, to create educational programs to create the image of a national library as a positive, open and modern organization, and to generate to young people the habit of visiting our library, and to raise awareness and interest towards national library collections.
So do you educate your visitors, or do you educate mainly staff of other libraries, not only your library? Could you please tell a little bit more about this educational program?
Now we have two specialists. They have pedagogical backgrounds, and they prepared different programs with user training courses, very exciting forums like escape rooms and like games.
Escape rooms?
Yes, yes.
Is it like silent rooms when you can be alone, or what is it?
No, Katre, maybe you know better how you this experience. I haven't experienced this because it's really new now.
Escape room. I'm just wondering, what is it?
One room for small group,
Ah.
3 or 5 people go with,
Where they can
and
be alone.
And there are different. You could solve different questions connected with literature, library or such. It's not a typical escape room, but it is very popular because it's only 3, 4, 5 small groups only could go to the room.
It's not scaring, but it's exciting. Yes.
You will find some more knowledge.
I see.
Yes.
Yeah, of course the library is always has the possibilities to provide new knowledge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the old card files. Young people don't know what are the card catalogs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it was really a very special challenge, and we realized that we need now new competencies, and if we are going to talk about competencies, that I like to say that pedagogical and andragogical, is it in English this word? Yes, competencies are really crucial in if we are talking about modern library. That especially if you are speaking about education programs or some other activities with youngsters, then we need special competencies in the library.
For sure. But how to create these competencies? Because you know they are quite like not hard skills but soft skills. So it's not so easy to
develop
grow it in yourself.
Yes, it's really challenging to develop organization and to get all these competencies from your organization, what you need. But if this task is so exciting, then people are motivated to learn. And in our library, I'm happy that our colleagues are really motivated to learn and develop themselves. And this is the way how we will we need to work in the library. Yes.
Yeah, if you are interested, you see the results.
Yes.
There are more possibilities too.
Yes. So maybe I speak now modern library staff because we just started to speak about competencies, and you had questions. What skills should a modern library have? So I already started. So first of all, a very important set of competencies are social competencies. No matter if the staff members serve the users or work in the training or IT. Also, another quality that the National Library has observed when recruiting new staff is the willingness to learn, as we just talking, and the desire to develop one's skills further, and like inner necessity for lifelong learning. And you asked if age matters.
Yeah.
I say no. In this respect, the age is not so important. Of course, an important part of necessity skills are digital competencies, and maybe there are sure differences if we are talking about generations, sure. that younger generation are more, they have more digital skills, but not all positions require equal level of digital competencies, but this something that we follow. We want all our staff to have competencies that meet today's needs, and we started this year a program of digital competencies in our library, and we are really happy because this leader or our colleague who is leading this process, she is really capable, and there are different levels and different modules. So and we are dealing with digital competencies through this program, and one related issue has become quite critical. Today librarians have to be wise subscribers to IT solutions. They have to know to be partner to IT companies, and this is really critical. In our case, our National Library is currently outsourcing our IT services. Just last year we made this change, and we have to be now able to make right decisions regarding which software to buy, or for example our digital archive, and so on. And now what is my feeling, not feeling, but it's a fact that we really need to more develop our competencies to be more competent partners to IT. If you are, even if you are outsourcing in your house, you have to have that very strong IT competencies.
So the library could be the competencies partner, the competencies partner.
Yes. Otherwise, you can't buy this solution, IT-based solution, what you really like to have for your services if you are not competent, IT competent. This means that you have to have both library competencies, user-centered competencies, that you are thinking, you have design thinking, and you have also this IT competencies. It's quite complex, and it's getting more and more critical, I think, because we know if e-service is not designed like user-centered service, then it's big. How to say? It wouldn't be used. In our case, we have very good but bad example. We use very good portal software. It's Ex Libris software, but it's not designed for our users so well that it is decreasing. If all our services are this usage of services is increasing, then it's decreasing, and we have to do something with that. But it's IT based, and this is what I'm talking now. I already said that pedagogical and andragogical competencies are new, and as a as a research library, we need staff members who are very competent in their subject area, and as we are research library in humanities and social sciences, then we need that kind of people who are specialists in this area. So.
Okay, I understood your understanding of what should be the model library, what competences should the staff have, and what kind of education they should get, and it's quite the same with ours. Important that you said for us is yes, the digital skills are the main, and the library should be a curator for the person. So
Exactly.
it will be interesting your point of view to other librarians. And can we speak a little bit about the library system? I will ask you to pass the micro.
Yeah, sure.
Could you please introduce yourself?
My name is Katre Риисалу and I'm president of the Estonian Librarians Association. And maybe first of all I would like to start with modern library and its staff, because I think that modern library, the most important is at good location, renovated premises, modern environment, space for different activities, 24 hours entrance, with a reader's ticket, many events for different age groups, educational programs, good selection of new literature, access to e-books and e-magazines, and friendly librarian. If we speak about library staff, this librarian nowadays must be project manager, information specialist, service designer, trainer, culture manager, and sometimes something more.
Superman or woman.
Yes, yeah. It's real life. And you ask about young professionals and young librarians, and it's not connected only with young librarians, but we have to take into account that young people want to earn a salary that guarantees a good quality of life, do a job that speaks to them, and spend hours working in a great team. It's most important, and workplace flexibility is increasingly central to the needs of the new generation. And we all want more young people, young librarians. Unfortunately, it's not only 10% of librarians in Estonia, we could say, that are young librarians. About professional competence. The professional competence of a librarian is based on vocational standard. Starting in 2005, Professional Qualifications Committee is working at the Librarians Association, and more than 1,000 qualifications of professional librarian have been issued during this time. Consequently to the Public Library Act and the School Library Act, a library manager in Estonia must have a professional certificate of or high education in librarianship. And once a year, the Librarians Association announces the receipt of applications. The applicant must provide a virtual development portfolio, which must demonstrate the applicant's various competencies. Then there will be an interview in front of the 3-member commission. And library managers with another specialty have a chance to pass vocational training courses in the National Library and apply qualification. And our vocational standard is well regulated and is in accordance with the European 8-level qualifications framework.
Are they obligated to have these classes and to pass this standard, or I mean...
You pass these classes in National Library, and then you could apply. You must also make this portfolio and interview in the commission.
Do they have to do this, or is it like, if you like, you can
No, if you are a director of public library or working head of the school library, you must to have.
You must. Good. And do you have the relearning within the 5 years, for example? Or?
It is for 8 years, and then you must renew it.
Great. It's very, very great experience. I think we need something like that because now we don't have the strict system how to make this. It's on your, decision. You can do, you can not do.
No, it must be in the law.
Yeah, it should be.
So, what we could say about, I don't know, library system.
Yeah.
About public libraries.
Yeah, how many and so on.
And about accreditation of public libraries.
Yeah.
In Estonia, I think that we have a good public libraries network. There are about 500 public libraries, altogether 1,000 libraries. Half of them is public libraries, 300, little bit more school libraries, then academic research, special libraries, and national library. The first rural library was opened 150 years ago, and this network, public libraries network, has developed over 100 years. The administrative reform that took place 2 years ago in Estonia will affect the library network in the near future. 3 years ago there was 220 local municipalities, now only 70. And libraries are affected by both administrative reform and urbanization, because 70% of Estonians live in towns and cities. Quite often only a library is open in the rural area. After school, shop and post office close. However, a large part of government services are available as e-services.
Excuse me, is it also in the law that they should be opened till the late time, or it's just a recommendation? And
They
follow.
Yeah.
What is the usual closing time in the public libraries?
6 o'clock. 6, 7.
6, 7. But it's after the post office?
Sometimes libraries working together with post office in the small communities. There are not different offices.
I see, but do the people can get to the library after the working hours?
No, not yet. There will be first public library in Estonia, maybe next year, which will be open like Danish libraries. In Denmark, there are most of libraries are open 24/7.
I see. What now we are trying to make them be open till 8 or 9. Of course, not 24 because it's really difficult to arrange, but at least till 8 or 9. But, yeah.
And sometimes it must be also open on Saturdays.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes they even choose Sunday.
Yeah.
But,
it depends.
Yeah, it depends.
It depends on community. So, about library accreditation, there is no state strategy for public libraries in Estonia, and on the initiative of the Librarians Association, vision document 21st century, I could give you.
Thank you.
21st century library we prepared a few years ago. The process involved the whole library community. We mapped the issues that needed to be resolved. And it can be said that the project fulfilled its purpose to find a common focus for the future of all type of libraries. The second phase, we deal with services provided by public libraries. We designed a comprehensive model to evaluate the quality of our public library services. All activities were on voluntary basis. We asked just libraries to make it, and we agreed on a set of basic indicators for library activities. What kind of services should be good, excellent, satisfactory, or even unsatisfactory. There are 32 different criteria in the model, and almost 140 public libraries rated their services. And I think that the summary gives quite a good overview of the current state of public libraries in Estonia.
If they won't fulfill this criteria, what will happen?
Nothing, because it is voluntary. It was self-assessment and voluntary.
But as the results are quite fast in effect, because nobody would like to be in the end of the
but
rating.
it is.
Of course, they would be closed, but
it is generalized. It is that kind of service. You couldn't see exactly concrete library.
Oh.
Every library know her position.
Position,
Yeah,
you don't,
yeah. We put all together, and so it is. We have this.
But do you try to affect to the library, which is actually the end of the rating somehow? Do you try to affect the situation?
As a voluntary association, we couldn't do nothing. We just ask, speak, tell how it must be, how good this service must be.
But you can recommend it to the local government who is caring about
of course
the
we could, yeah. But it depends on local government, because they are very...
Whether they're interested or not.
Yes, because this model shows that lots of public libraries, they don't have strategical plan. And there are some local municipalities that have very good strategic plan. So it is very different, the libraries' quality services.
Maybe it's suitable to speak about National Library's role developing services for public libraries, because we are this development center for public libraries. As I mentioned, National Library has a role for public libraries as a development center, and right now we have three major developments that are tackling the whole Estonian library system. Firstly, the e-lending platform for the entire library network. Secondly, the new library information system that would be used by all Estonian libraries. And under this project, we are currently analyzing which services our libraries consider necessary to be offered via this system. So it's a stage of analyzing is all what do libraries need and how they like to use library system, because now we use it just for lending books and mostly, and that's it.
Is this research available online? Can we?
We will start right now, and one auditing company, KPMG, it's international KP, will do it, and then we will. I don't know if we will have English version, but if we will have some overview, we can share to you.
Yeah,
because
can share. We can even translate if
yes,
some
yes. Because it would be really interesting, yes. And the third and probably biggest challenge is a new interlibrary lending solution that is very innovative, and it is it will be based on sharing economy. The aim of this project is to develop a platform that would enable to order the desired publication from any Estonian library where it is available, with the possibility to home delivery or ordering it to the nearest parcel terminal.
Will it be? It's not free, right? But for the
we haven't.
Who is ordering, is it free or?
It's right now. It's also in the same stage that we have now a partner company. And this company will work out this solution. It will be probably original or unique right now, and we don't know how the state or local government will how will be all this model, this financing model. It will be new.
So you're thinking how will it be organized?
Yes, and there are a lot of obstacles how to negotiate with local government who is owner of library, and if they are ready to share
the property books to our libraries, and it's really innovative. And we are excited to see how it will be, which solution will be. But first of all, it's also legal. There are legal problems or issues, as I mentioned, this financing model, and we are in process to amend or to work out new. Katre, did you mention this new public library law? No, and so we are in process. Our Minister of Culture just started, and this will be part of this law. How this model will work.
Actually, it's really interesting. I heard something about something like that in the USA. I know that they deliver the books via the different areas, the different states. But I don't know how.
Yes, there are some kind of services and solutions, but in our case, our country is so small, so we can use it more widely. So it's state-wide, we can use it.
But at least what I said about our country, I think we can do something like that. We as a region, because we don't have this.
Yes.
For example, we have the main regional library, which has the great book collection. If it will be possible to make the logistics through the region, it will also help the readers. We will take this in mind, this idea.
Yes, well, these three development projects are really challenging for our national library and I think for all our libraries community.
It also changes the image of the library.
Absolutely.
It's thought that it's more convenient and you can get the book in any city or village. It will help, definitely.
We hope so.
Great. So, Katre, you have some other information I can see for us. Could you please share?
I don't know. Maybe you are not interested, but last year.
I'm interested.
Interested, yeah. Last year, our culture ministry made a report about visitors and non-visitors of Estonian libraries and museums. They asked about museums and libraries. And I think that these results are very useful to plan the future of activities in the libraries. So what we know now, that during the last year, 50% of population visited the library.
50%?
50%.
You are so lucky.
By statistic, it is 30.
Oh. Who is right? I don't know.
Who knows?
I know.
Yeah, but if you ask from people, then they said that they had visited.
50 is a good number.
Yes, it's like Nordic countries. Yeah. And the report released the services that visitors and potential visitors want to use in the libraries, but which libraries do not yet provide. And the most important topic are well-being and health issues. Some steps have already been taken, such as in some of Estonian libraries, you could rent musical instruments, sports equipment. There are food workshops. But the exact content of the services will certainly require future research and discussions. And the survey showed the interest and readiness of the population to use library as a communication and learning center. 47% of respondents want better access to digital publications, e-books, e-newspapers, audiobooks, and would like to use the library as a public space with good Wi-Fi connection as an office. 22% of respondents would like to use a music studio in library. And I think that's the most important fact, that 56% of people visit the library to ask the librarian for help.
Oh, great.
I think that it is.
It's great, really.
And satisfaction with libraries was 92%. And they said that libraries provide a good, high-quality service. And the strength of Estonian libraries is good location, 70% of respondents, and good selection of literature.
And are they always financed by the municipality or just the
Public
federal?
libraries also from governments, there is to acquire new books. Half of the money is from government and half from the local municipality.
I see. And it is the same in all.
Yeah.
I see. That's great. That's great. And do you try to earn money somehow? I mean, what kind of paid services do you have? Of course, copy.
Yes.
And research.
Mostly services are free of charge, and if you need some material, then you ask money.
I see.
In music studio, maybe if you need some very special, then you must.
Important question for us is the balance between entertainment and knowledge. I think everybody is facing with this.
It's everywhere. The same.
Yeah, it's a global question. So, what are your opinion how to leave this balance? Because, for example, some workshops about the culinary is not so the standard service in the library, and some of my colleagues tell that no way, it shouldn't be in the library. We even the Audi example isn't so good for them because it's not our way. We should be only the intellectual center. And what is your opinion? Where is the balance? What are you ready to include in the library services from this list, or what you are not ready to include?
We have also seed library. Seed library, the collection of seeds. Like you can choose and borrow from one of our city library to plant a home, and after then let your plant grow, collect their seeds, and donate some to the libraries back. And we have some community gardens in libraries.
Yeah, but that's great. Why not?
I think that mostly there must be traditional services and connected with books, literature and all this. But if there are culinary or food workshop, you also could present cooking books which are very popular in Estonia. Or if there are sewing machine, there are also lots of books about sewing or handicraft or some that kind of things. Or if there is a 3D printer or some that eat, you have also that kind of books. So I think that they must to be together, put together.
So if it's needed to the local society, why not? If they need this, why not?
If someone needs in the rural library sewing machine.
Yeah. So you can.
Yeah.
Great. It's very nice.
It's like in Audi,
Yeah.
It's like an Audi. So the library could be different, as I see from your report. In your country, it can have the different goals from us. Could you please have some wish to our librarians? I mean, the librarians of the project.
Okay, well, I will start in English maybe. I like to use Ranganatan. I think it's Ranganatan library rules are always actual. Raamatud on lugemiseks igale lugejale tema raamat, igale raamatule tema lugeja. Raamatukogu on kasvav organism.
Okay, and everything, what the meaning of all the sentence?
That for all readers their books, for all books their readers, and library is growing organism, and I hope also, I wish success to Russian librarians and libraries. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's really great.
Librarians must work together everywhere, every time and every country, and I hope that Estonian and Russian librarians will work together also. Raamatukogu hoidjad igal maal, igal ajal peavad koostööd tegema, et loodan, et Eesti ja Venemaa raamatukogu hoidjad ka edaspidi koostööd teevad.
Thank you so much. That was really exciting for us and really, really useful. Thank you that you found it this time and shared the ideas.